I quite like that. Welcome to Virgo season. Hi, my name is Claudia, and welcome to the Becoming Years. And welcome to Virgo season. Not as a self-proclaimed, I am a Leo. I normally don't give a crap about Virgo season. But this year, for whatever reason, Virgo season has come alive quite strong in me, and I'm very excited. If you don't know much about horoscopes, Virgo season started on August 22nd. Today is August 24th when I'm recording this, so we're already 2 days into Virgo season. And this weekend for me was a really good beginning to Virgo season. I really enjoyed it, felt pretty motivated. And Virgo very generally is sort of serious. They're very driven, they're very productive, hardworking, logical, practical, matter-of-fact kind of people, but it's also just a very productive, forward, practical time of the year in my opinion. It also coincides with back to school season, and frankly I almost wonder if that's on purpose. It's probably not. But it's really a time to get back to routines, get back on track, and for me it's sort of my time to get my life back together. This past few months, we're still in COVID. That hasn't changed. But most of COVID, personally, I have let everything go. If I didn't work out, I didn't beat myself up over it, but I also didn't really force myself to do it. So whatever workout routine, completely gone. Cooking came and went. It depends on how I'm feeling, but a lot of quarantine, I was really obsessed with cooking because it was something to do. Towards the later months of COVID, up until about now, cooking actually was probably more of a stressor than anything else. And personally, I'm back in my parents' house, which used to be seen as a bad thing, but now I think it's a perfectly good thing. But getting used to their kitchen made cooking not as fun for me, and things like that. I had no routine. But welcome to Virgo season. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get all back. I'm going to try working out again. I'm going to try enjoying cooking again, because I used to love cooking. Love it. But it was just not a thing for a while for me. But I think we're back. We're good. Virgo season is the opposite of Leo season, though. Leo season, I'm a Leo, love Leo season. It's about having fun. It's about going out. It's about partying. It's about me. It's a me time, especially as a Leo. I think for most people, Leo season can be very I just want to enjoy myself, blah, blah, blah. As a Leo, I really love Leo season. I just think it's really bright and fun, and I think August for a lot of people has a bad connotation of going back to school. But personally, to me, August is the last hurrah. You want to go hard, because it is for a lot of people the back to work, back to school, back to the rhythm of things before we hit winter. But Leo's very spontaneous, very fun, very outgoing, very laissez-faire, just do whatever. And Virgo is a quick switch, and we're nope, time to get back to business. Life was messy and fun, but let's reel it in, let's figure out what the plan is, let's figure out where we go now that we're done with Leo season. So, it's time to get shit done, it's time to get your life back on track. The one thing though I have to think about, and I hope you guys think about with Virgo season, I think it's a great time for you, not just myself, it's not just a personal thing. Virgo's a great season to be productive, try to get your work life back in order, maybe you have a side hustle you want to work on, maybe it's just personal, you want to get back in the routine of doing journaling every day, or you're going to cook for yourself more often. Those routines are a great thing to establish right now during Virgo season, and I think it's a really strong time to really reconnect with yourself and reconnect with those routines that help you. But Virgo season can also be risky in that a lot of times there's a sense of you gotta stop yourself from overworking, frankly, because productivity can be great, but productivity is not being a workhorse. That's different. Productivity is understanding what flow works for you, and I think it's one of those things where people say, oh, 9 to 5 sucks, and working because of that sucks. But if you recognize that, hey, my peak work hours, my productivity hours are midnight to 3 a.m., hey, that's your business. Those are your productivity hours. And that's not to say that you have to work those 3 hours on top of a 9 to 5. It's just trying to figure out what your groove is. So in Virgo season, one of the things I want to stress, even for myself, is don't overwork yourself. If you have a thing on this, a side hustle you really want to do, that's awesome. But don't let it destroy your mental health and lead to burnout. Another thing that I hear a lot when I was reading and doing stuff about this cycle is don't worry about other people's crap. And I think because of Virgo season, the productivity, the very practical nature of things, and the straight to the point, it's also easy to try to like analyze everyone else and how they're handling Virgo season, how they're handling their lives right now, and how maybe they don't want to get their routine together. And that's fine too, but like don't try to fixate on what other people are doing, especially when like sometimes it might be frustrating because like working with coworkers or family members or whatever, and they're not ready to do this whole like start your routine, get back on track kind of vibe. That's okay. You gotta learn to let go. Those are parts of Leo season that you gotta incorporate, the laissez-faire. You gotta leave other people. You gotta let them do their own thing. Some exciting dates for Virgo season are 1, August 27th. Okay, this is actually not anything to do with Virgo season per se. If you are someone who uses TikTok, you may have noticed that the date August 27th keeps popping up. I don't really understand what's going to happen on August 27th. There's a lot of theories of why August 27th keeps popping up. The TikTok theory is that there's an episode in The Simpsons where on August 27th, 2020, Trump gets assassinated. That's the theory on TikTok. I don't know if that's true. But another aspect to August 27th is that Venus is in trine with Neptune. What that means is that it's actually a really great day for spirituality, creativity, and it's honestly probably a really great day for manifesting if you're doing it, if that's something you practice. It's just a great day to really get in tune with yourself, what you want, and like putting a lot of intention out into the world, whether that's through art, manifestation, diligent work, journaling. It's a great day for that, regardless of what TikTok says. Another important day is August 29th. On August 29th, Mercury is going to be in trine with Jupiter. And that, in theory, is supposed to help you with optimism, good luck. You also have the potential, maybe you'll hear some really great news that day. You never know, but that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing we want to keep in mind this Virgo season is that Mars is going into retrograde on September 9th. Mars going into retrograde has to do with your aggression, action, emotions, even like love and stuff like that. And Mars going into retrograde is actually not that uncommon. It happens 2 times a year. Definitely less frequent than Mercury going to retrograde. Mars going into retrograde though means that like aggression, conflict, all that kind of stuff is going to be amplified but also cluttered. Dealing with conflict will be harder. Dealing with inner conflict will have to come to the surface for a lot of people. But I think the most interesting thing is that Mars retrograde is from September 9th to November 13th, which is also a Friday the 13th. But within that time frame, we have the US election. So the US election is building to Mars in retrograde, at the very like pinnacle of Mars in retrograde. So regardless of what's happening for you, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens for this country. So that'll be in and out of Virgo, because September 22nd we go into Libra season, and then October 22nd we're off into Scorpio. So Mars retrograde will take us through multiple horoscope seasons, but it'll start in Virgo. That'll be very interesting, and I think especially with the very straightforwardness of Virgo, Mars in retrograde can be very interesting. Try your best not to be too blunt, because that won't really help most people. Some people take bluntness really well, but some people don't, so just beware. Regardless of Mars in retrograde and August 27th and who knows what TikTok thinks is happening, I think there's a lot of really fun things about Virgo, and I am really excited about Virgo season, and I just feel like I'm ready to get my life back on track. And obviously that has to exist within the sphere of COVID, but I think for me it's also accepting that, look, COVID is not going away for many reasons, mainly to do with the stupidity of how we handle it in the US, which is really unfortunate, but we have to be a little bit realistic that like COVID is now going to be compounded with flu season. So for me that means learning to be even more intentional with my safety practices with COVID. Every time I go to the grocery store or Target, I buy a new mask so that I make sure I have enough masks that I can wear a new one every single day. That's now a part of my daily routine, and it's a good healthy routine, and I really encourage you to make sure you have enough masks that you can at least wash, either hand wash it or wash it with your clothes, so you have a new clean one every single day. It's also recognizing that like I'm gonna live at my parents' house for longer than I expected when I envisioned graduating from college. At first I was really scary, But honestly, I had a moment the other day where it's like, I'm sort of happy to be home. I have a really nice house. Like, I have a roof over my head. I like my parents, even when they do bug me. I live in an area where I have proximity to an industry that I actually do want to be involved with job-wise, and I have some friends from high school that are still in the area. Like, I'm in a very lucky scenario. So let's make routines that match my new scenario. Let's make a cooking routine that my parents actually want to eat the food, and like we're all working in conjunction. And I'm trying to make a workout routine again. I used to really love boxing, but it hurts my wrist, so I started doing bar classes. So I signed up for like an online bar thing because I don't like running, and I live in an area that's super humid, so half the time I don't really want to be working out outside. So bar I can do in my basement, and it's a good routine that I actually enjoy. And things like, there are other things as far as routines that I'm trying to get back that I'm still not going to say that I'm doing well yet. Before I started the job that I'm doing right now, I was reading a lot more often, so I really want to get that back in my routine. In my house, we also have 4 different guitars, 3 acoustics, 1 electric. And I've always put off playing them, but I'd really like to learn how to play guitar, so maybe that's something I can rope into my routine. Like Tuesday, Thursdays, I do a half hour of guitar. We also have a piano that I don't know how to play, so maybe I should learn that. And like languages that I love to learn. So I just want to say that, like, as much as a strong and happy Leo, am sad to see Leo season gone, I do think everyone really benefits from the shift of really fun, chaotic Leo season and going into Virgo season and trying to like look at what we really enjoyed about Leo season, learning how to incorporate those things every little day, small things, but also still making a routine that's really productive and helpful for ourselves. And I think the best part about Virgo season is not just being practical and straightforward and very logical, but it's being very introspective about what is practical for yourself as far as a good routine, what helps yourself, and how to be productive in the way that you actually enjoy. Not just a workhorse, but like actually proud of the work you're doing. So I hope you're excited for Virgo season. I'm excited for Virgo season. I'm excited for you in Virgo season if you're not. But thank you so much for watching. I don't know if I'll do a horoscope thing, talking about everything every season as we come upon it, but I sort of really love horoscopes and astrology and all that stuff, so maybe I will do this. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week for a new video. Thanks.